Welcome, welcome everyone to TVOSJ, the voice of San Joaquin, right here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California. Now it is time for the Chase Car Guys. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you, Miss Betty, for being here
You're
tonight
welcome.
and running the board for us. We appreciate that. Welcome all the
Always.
people at home that are listening in or viewing us. We have a great show for you tonight. My partner in crime, Mr. Morales, has done a fine job getting a great guest. We have an employee here. Actually, he's our employer because he is HR at Chase Chevrolet. Mr. Angel Villalobos is with us. So anyhow, Mr. Roy Morales, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest and go from there?
Thank you very much, Rick. I'll share your mic. Can I share your mic with you?
You share everything else.
Thank you
Mike,
very
so I
much.
guess so.
Anyway, we have a great show tonight. The topic that this evening is it's all about marketing, and we're all in business. Our guests are Angel Villalobos, to my left, I guess. Angel Villalobos is our marketing manager at Chase Chevrolet, and he also handles human resources. He's got a lot on his plate. And then we have representing Port City Marketing.
Yay!
I love that name, Port City Marketing. Anyway, we have the you do too. We have the principal partners here. Kristen Dyke, director of marketing, here. Good for Kristen. Thank you for being here. And we have Dan. Dan, I'm going to help me with the last name. How do you say the last name?
Natividad.
Natividad. That's what I thought. We have Dan
Natividad.
Natividad. So we've got Dan Natividad, director of strategy and development. So we've got the principals here from Port City Marketing. The first thing that I just wanted to let all of our audience know that this is episode number 9. So number 9, yeah. So we got a good topic for episode number 9. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with Angel. Of course, both Rick and I at Chase Chevrolet, we work with Angel each and every day, and he's come on board and he's really made a huge impact in everything that he does over at Chase Chevrolet. But I'm going to ask him to tell us about, we're in the people business, I'd like to know a little bit, and the audience likes to know a little bit more about our guests, a little bit more personally about our guests. Tell us about your path, how you came to maybe Chase Chevrolet, how long you've been with Chase Chevrolet, and your path through Chase Chevrolet, because you've done some different jobs along the way until this new venture here. So tell us a little bit about that, Angel.
Okay, so I was hired May 7th, 2010 by Alex Robinson, our service manager, who's been there 35 plus years. And I worked as a lot porter, washing cars and sweeping and moving cars up and down the service drive. I probably did that for like 2 or 3 years. And then John Ferriola, our general manager, asked if I wanted to work, on the other side of the drive. And I helped Robert Rodriguez, Gary Larson for, a handful of years. And then me and Juan Hernandez, we're the used car office for probably 4 or 5 years, and then we never had like a human resources department. And Amy Clark, who was it episode 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got your episodes right.
Yeah. She had the idea of creating this department, and she liked my paperwork that I had turned in, and she thought I had the right, I guess, personality for it.
Right.
So I've been doing that for 2 years, and within the last year, they asked if I kind of went to John Ferriola and asked for more.
Right.
And this is what he tasked me with. So, yeah, I enjoy the marketing stuff a lot more than the human resource stuff, to be honest.
So the reason you ask for more is because there's hardly any HR complaints at our store. We're all in compliance. Thanks for that word. So everything's good, and so you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
What's really interesting about this, is that I for one, I've been there, 19 years. But I did not realize that you've been with Chase Chevrolet, coming up, 10 years? Huh?
Yeah, 10 years in May.
10 years in May, man. That is absolutely awesome. And what I love about this, what I love about the Chase Chevrolet culture is that you can take an employee that starts off at the most standard or basic jobs, much like probably in your business as well. And then there's opportunities, within the organization to move up. And I just got to tell you, Angel, you are a very skilled, talented, intelligent person. And you know what? They all saw that in you. They all saw that. And that's why those opportunities, you were able to take advantage of, because they saw the potential. And each and every day, honestly, I'm amazed at what you contribute to Chase Chevrolet. I mean, tell us, I know that on the marketing side, you take care of most of the social media on the marketing side. Tell us a little bit about the social media, how you manage the social media bit.
I just try to keep the content fresh and engaging, and then we've had our relationship for 3 months, and they're great with words. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with words, but they're really good with words.
Right.
Yeah.
The message, huh?
The message, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just helps, clean everything up. But yeah, there's just so much to marketing and what we do. And I know you were asking me about the photography that I do at work, as far as the VDP pages go. Right. That stands for Vehicle Display Page.
Thank you for
and
us idiots that don't know.
Right. And as far as that goes, we had a company that was shooting photos, and the photos were half in the dark, half in the light, and they didn't meet the Chase Chevrolet standard.
There you go.
So now the 500 vehicles in inventory, I attempt to shoot them all to our standard, and I think 86% of car shoppers visit websites before they actually go to the lot.
Right.
And I thought it was really important to have merchandise our vehicles correctly online.
Right, and I've noticed that. With the work that you've been putting on. I mean, you have vehicles on there on a regular basis, and you're doing a real good job about that. And then all of your posts that you've been putting on. I mean, we put some customer buys, purchases, pictures of community events, a lot of things that we're involved with, and we're involved with a lot. And I know that's that's given you plenty of work to do. So anyway, I just wanted to congratulate you for doing an outstanding job, and I want you to jump in, because you're part of all of the marketing that goes on at Chase Chevrolet, and you're an important part of that. And so, as we're discussing all the marketing opportunities and everything with Port City Marketing, just jump right on in, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to turn the page now to Port City Marketing. Let's start off with Kristen. What I want to know a little bit about, because we know a little bit about your business, Chase Chevrolet, and all that, but and we'll get into more of that. But I know they don't know that. But I want to know a little bit more about your path. Your path, coming to number one, coming into the marketing area. How you kind of came into that area, mm-hmm. and then opening up your own business. Together. So tell us about your path, and also you can also fill us in as far as family. Okay. That type of thing.
Okay. So I have always been into marketing advertising. I went to Pacific. That's what brought me here to Stockton.
All
so
right,
I started, I'm from the Bay Area, from San Jose. Mm-hmm. I went to Pacific and played field hockey there, and met my husband while I was there. He's a Stocktonian. Right so I moved around and ended up just always coming back to Stockton. Mm-hmm. So I was at a job that relocated to Nevada, and had just gotten married and was luckily in the position just to be able to come home. And my husband had just finished grad school and said, well, what do you want to do?
Right.
And we were just in a good position. I said, I want to open my own business. It's always been a dream of mine. My mother had her own business. I've just always wanted to be able to do that with a family, flexibility, those types of things. It's nice to be able to do that. So Port City Marketing came to be. My business partner at the time, Aaron Giles, we joined together. Mm-hmm. And at the time, it was kind of in a recession time period where a lot of people were dumping their marketing departments, but they were also still knowing that they needed marketing.
Right.
So we were able to step in on a graphic design side, which is what my major is at Pacific.
Okay.
And provide kind of some of those basic services to customers. So we just started relationship building, and the company has just kind of grown and taken off from there.
Right.
We've been in business now 9 years. So, and Dan came on board in about year 6 and really kind of catapulted us into a whole nother area using strategy and development and
Thanks, Kristen.
you're welcome.
There you
Microphone. So, and that side of marketing and adding all that into it. So now we're a full-fledged firm. So we
Right.
offer everything from branding and simple graphic design, business cards, things like that, to strategy, development, copywriting, social media, websites, you name it. Sort
Yeah.
of, we do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great path. Tell us about your path, Dan. Just pull over the mic there so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I started off as a porter at.
There you go.
Actually, I started my career out of college in sales. If you can hear me.
You can pull it up further.
In sales, and
Yes.
I sucked at sales.
That's okay, because a lot of guys do.
But what I did realize was that all the folks in marketing were doing a lot of the strategic stuff. So they were determining, like, which markets to hit, the messaging. And I was like, man, I want to do that, right? So, from there, fast forward, 6 or 7 years. And I started working for a health plan of San Joaquin here in Stockton.
Okay.
In their marketing department. And then from there, I worked there for about 4 or 5 years. Loved it. Then moved on to Blue Shield of California,
Okay.
where I was responsible for strategy throughout the state. It's a great job. Unfortunately, I was commuting. Either one week I was commuting to San Francisco, and then the next week I was commuting to Southern California.
All right.
And it was a great job, awesome job. But then I had 2 kids. Or my
Yes.
wife and I had 2 kids. I didn't have the kids. My wife.
And
had
your
the
wife's
kids.
name?
My wife's name is Carolyn.
And you have 2 children?
2 children. Daphne, who's 8, and Henry, who's 6.
Oh, wonderful.
And they're great friends with Grant and Nolan, Kristen's
Yeah.
kids. And I actually know Kristen because I went to high school, St. Mary's High, with
St. Mary's grad.
her husband Garrett. And so that's how Kristen and I have known each other.
Okay. So there was a connection between you and her husband, and that's how you got to know her, huh?
Yeah. So when I realized that I wanted to choose family first and live closer to home, I was looking for a job in something that I wanted to do. But I was looking at all the different openings. There was nothing that really fit. So I knew Kristen had a very successful graphic design business. And we got to talking, and what we realized was I do kind of one side of marketing, and then she does like a whole new like creative side of marketing, the stuff that I'm like horrible at.
Right.
So I felt, like I could either start my own business or I can kind of piggyback off of the great work that they were doing.
There you go. A smart guy there.
So I said, hey, you need a partner? I do this. You guys do that. And since then, we've kind of, as Kristen mentioned, we've grown from, just 3 of us to, we have a large group of employees.
Right.
And work with a lot of great new clients, such as Chase Chevrolet, and some other ones. So that's kind of my story.
Sounds like an interesting path.
Yeah.
Tell me this, because you guys are marketers. You guys came together 6 years ago is when you guys kind of came together and formed your partnership. Tell me this. What was the biggest challenge in your startup phase when you guys came together? What kind of challenges did you have, in starting up your business? Was there anything in particular that comes to mind? Or did you have kind of a pretty good, established kind of a deal where there wasn't a lot of, challenges at first?
Well, I'd say we're still kind of building the plane as we're flying it.
Right
so
on.
to
Okay.
speak.
Okay.
I think
That's
we're
good.
still in growth phase.
Right.
Which I think is exciting, as a small business person, and now as we grow.
Right.
It's been exciting for me, not only just with the clients that we've worked with, but also just these new challenges that as a small business owner, you find out you got to have, like,
Right.
with HR, for instance,
Right.
as our company was growing, we were like, what do we do with HR,
Right.
Yeah.
So, so we've had some really great partners. There's this company, BizHaven, that does outsource, a plug for them, outsource HR that
Oh,
we
good.
work with.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, it's always hard.
Yeah. It's just a growing. It's just
Yeah.
a growing deal. I mean, you guys are just growing.
Yeah. It's growing, but I think going into business with somebody who's a friend first,
Yes.
we already were sort of morally aligned in
Right.
the way that we wanted to run the business
Right.
and how we wanted to run the business. So I think in that way, there hasn't been a whole lot of issues or complications.
Right.
We
Good.
both kind of are on the same path when, concerns come up with customers, or we're going for new customers, or we're hiring.
Right.
We're always sort of on the same page with those type of things.
Yeah,
So
and
that was nice to know ahead of
that's
time.
That's a nice thing to have in the partnership, especially. I mean, especially because you guys didn't know each other, so you knew a little bit about your personalities.
Oh, yeah.
How you guys might work well together, and all those things were probably pretty important.
Yeah.
As far as getting it going, yeah, just like you and me. Hey, tell me about this. Chase Chevrolet has been in business since 1944. You guys are a newer startup, right? But you have some time under your belts. We've developed a culture at Chase Chevrolet. It's taken many years. It's all paid off.
Yeah.
All the hard work pays off. And that's the light at the end of the tunnel. But tell me about your staff. I was able to come and visit you at your office, and tell me about give me the names of your staff. Tell me a little piece about each one, because you work with them each and every day, and tell me what their specialties are.
All right. Are they listening?
I hope so. They are.
I hope.
Can we consult HR before?
Yeah, right. So we have a wonderful, great staff. When you're talking about building a community and what you're building there, we're trying to build that at Port City too.
Right.
So we have a staff that's on board with that, and we've been really lucky. Our first hire employee was Ariel Armanino. She's our copywriter, so you're talking about great words. We'll relay that to her.
Oh, good. She
yes.
puts the words together.
She's our word generator.
Nice.
She's somebody who I can walk into the office and say, this is kind of what I'm thinking, but there's something missing. It needs something. And she just blurbs
Boom.
it out.
Wow.
And so she's amazing. She's our copywriter, does a ton of social media, that kind of stuff.
Right.
We have Melissa Brum. She was hired on originally as a graphic designer.
Right.
And when you're talking about Angel's story, this is sort of a similar story where she was hired on as a graphic designer, came from the Academy of Art in San Francisco, but really started working with us 2 years ago and was like, I want to do different stuff. She's a great project manager, so we've been pushing her more into that role. So she kind of is a jack of all trades, which is a wonderful employee to have.
Yes.
So she does all kinds of things for us, printing in the office. She's sort of my right-hand man. Anything that I, need done with clients or any of that kind of stuff, because I have the graphic design background, I give to her. So I'm taking the mic. Do you want to talk about Shauna?
Okay, who's left?
and Lexi?
So we have also Lexi Abood, who is our traffic coordinator, marketing coordinator. She's really great in terms of making sure that projects get completed, and she's kind of the quarterback, if you will. So, for us, a lot of the folks wear many different hats, and with Lexi, she's a great project manager who's essentially the quarterback of our team. And then we also have Shauna Holmes, who's our senior graphic designer, and she's also a graphic design professor at Pacific.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we only hire the best at Port City.
There you go. Got the best.
Yeah. So Shauna has extensive experience in all aspects of graphic design, and she does some really great work. She's doing a lot of the billboards and stuff that we're doing with Chase.
Right.
But yeah, to kind of reiterate what Kristen says, like, we're building a culture where your position, to be honest, we don't really believe in titles, right? And So that gives our staff an opportunity to explore what they want to explore and explore where they feel they can be an asset to the organization.
Right.
So that's the kind of culture we're trying to build, is like an entrepreneurial type of culture that's also geared towards team, which it seems like, at Chase, you guys have also kind of built that too.
Yes.
And for us, what's great about the clients that we have is that we do learn, how great cultures work versus other cultures. Like, you guys have a great culture. Collins Electric, who's another one of our clients, has a very family-oriented culture in which, just like, with Angel's story, there's other stories at Collins where, people will start off on the line and then work their way up. And it's all kind of a family environment. So, we kind of pick and choose as we grow, and the new clients that we have, the type of culture that we want to build.
That's absolutely wonderful. Tell us a little bit about. Well, you know what? First, I'm gonna. You guys have received some accolades, and I want to talk about just a couple that you received. Kristen, tell us about. This is huge. Tell us about being named the 2017 Athena Young Professional Leadership Award by the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce. I mean, that is a huge award.
It is. I was very honored to receive that award, and surprised. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
Well, normally
very
most
surprised.
people are, but I mean, it's what an honor. I mean, I mean, there had to be the hard work that you've done in the community. I mean, that's the only way that you get to a point, and just doing an excellent job at what you do.
Yeah, well, we try to foster that at Port City. So that's sort of one of our goals. You'll never see an ad out about us. You'll never see which is funny coming from a marketing company, right? We just take our own unique approach on what we do. We give back.
Right.
So instead of spending $1,000 in a magazine ad, we'll give, $1,000 worth of services to a nonprofit. And that just evolves, and you just get really passionate about the things that you're working on. So for me, I do a ton of work at the Child Abuse Prevention Council, and really enjoy and just think that everything that they're doing in the community is stand up, and they're making a difference in what we're doing. So we sit on boards. That's how we advertise ourselves. Is working with like-minded people who also give back to the community. And when you talk about Stockton and Stockton Pride, those people who want to be here and want to invest in this community, and are proud of it. So that's kind of how it all originated.
And you know what? It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it requires a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Yeah.
For you to get, to be on boards, to be involved in committees, and all the things to get the exposure that you need to get out there. I mean, there's a lot invested on your part.
Yeah.
But it's so great when the community gives back, when they notice and they know what you do, they know how you do it, they know who you are.
Yeah.
And those relationships are formed, and then business is conducted, and that's the way that, that's a great story.
Yeah, that's kind of the good sort of side effect of all of it.
Of all of it.
But really,
you do it because it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
But there is a payback in the end because of the relationships that you've made, and being honored, with that award is, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
Dan, why don't you tell us about Port City Marketing was named the first place winner in the 2017 Best of San Joaquin Award for Marketing and PR Firm, in the Marketing PR Firm category. How was how the staff feel about that? How did you guys feel about that? Must have gave you some juice, huh?
Yeah, no, it was exciting. We, as Kristen mentioned, our time is spent, with our businesses, but then, Kristen's a great advocate and a great community member, involved in a lot of different things.
Right.
So just the award for that was great validation for the work that we've done. Obviously, we don't do it for the awards. But for us to get that validation from the record and the people that voted was really an honor. So, but the best honor for us is just all the clients that we've kept throughout the years.
Yeah, being able to keep those clients, huh?
Yep.
And then tell us about your recent relationship with working with Chase Chevrolet. How did it come about, and what do you guys see in the future?
Ooh, you want me to take this one? So we actually got a phone call from John. So he was eating lunch, I think it was, at House of Shaw.
Yes, he was.
And I don't like to admit this, but he was like, Port City Marketing, I've never heard of them. And so he picked up the phone and called us, which I think is great. He was, looking for something and wanted a local agency. So, of course, I got the message and called back right away. And we just started talking about Chase and about, your goals and what you guys were looking to do. And part of, I think, the big relationship of what we brought to the table was kind of that grassroots, local, homegrown, doing things here in the community. I mean, you guys do so much already. A ton of giving back with your time, your money, sponsorships, contributing, and really telling people those stories about everything that you're doing in the community. And then adding new things. So one of the great local events that we've come up with is the Trunk or Treat, which is Sunday, October 27th from 11 to 2 at Chase Chevrolet. So coming up with fun things like that to do here in the community to continue to support. Kind of add, I'd say maybe just a little extra flair to what you guys are currently doing.
Right.
So we also are doing the Stockton Cruise Night, which is tomorrow night on the Miracle Mile. So that was a big grassroots movement. That's not structured at all in any way, shape, or form. It's just a bunch of car guys and gals coming out on the mile and showing off their cars and supporting the Miracle Mile and the businesses and everything that are here. So we said, hey, we should do that. That would be great. Let's tell people to come out and bring their Chevys and show us your Chevy. So just, small things like that, I think is really where we've tried to lend a hand to what you guys are already currently doing and doing such a great job at.
And then I remember because I met you at a Hispanic Chamber event.
Yes.
We met at the
conference. The California conference.
California conference.
Hispanic.
And we held a conversation. It's the first time that I'd met you.
Yeah.
And we had held a conversation. I remember having a conversation with you that we might be looking for someone local to do some work with us,
Yeah.
And it was weird because John called me into the office, right, when you were in there, and he goes, hey, do you know where Port City Marketing is, right? And so I go, yeah, it's at the Port of Stockton.
Yes, I do remember that. A lot of people say that.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know exactly where you guys were located. After our conversation, I didn't know where you guys were located, but I knew of you.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's across the street from the House of Shaw. And I go, oh, okay, so you were there, huh? I go,
they must have moved. Yeah,
I go,
exactly.
okay, and then he was sitting with you, and you guys were discussing opportunities to help, and so that was great, it's that networking part, that all that hard work, the people that you meet out in the community, and all of a sudden John Ferriol looks across the street and sees your and says, I never heard of these guys, maybe I'll give him a call. That was interesting because I didn't know if he called you or you called him,
Yeah.
But that was wonderful that he reached out to you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think I would have ever had the guts to pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah.
Well, we actually knew John likes to go to House of Shaw, so we decided to just move there.
There you go. Shout out to House of Shaw, huh?
From the port, right?
Yes, from the port. We moved from the port.
Hey, tell me this. One of the first larger projects that you've worked on with Chase Chevrolet is our upcoming Trunk or Treat. Tell me, and you can tell me because you're involved with that as well. But tell me what we can expect for that for our Trunk or Treat event coming up on October 27th, I believe, right? Sunday, October 27th.
Just a family fun event. There's when I first started talking to Dan about it, he asked what we normally do. For the most part, me and John Chase, Patrick Velasquez, we barbecue, invite people out.
Right.
It's just real basic. And Dan was like, well, what do you think about this, that? And I don't know. I'm really excited about it just because it looks like, the community's behind it. All the stuff that we've, put into it. There's going to be a giant slide, bounce houses. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Can I go down the slide too?
No.
Actually, I think it's a 120-foot
No
slide.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Really?
a big slide. It's like the mega slide.
Wow.
And the jump house thing is like a full
Audience, did you hear that? Bring your kids out. 100-foot slide.
The bounce house is like a full obstacle course.
Wow.
So it'll be that stuff will be pretty. I think it's called the Mega Extreme Bounce House.
Oh, we are going to have the Mega Extreme Bounce House at our Trunk or Treat event. God, you got to bring your
Get those
kids
families
out.
out there. Get the kids out there.
Exactly.
We'll have the mascots there. It's big, and like I know I couldn't plan this by myself, and I'm dealing with we're working alongside Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We
and-
didn't talk about Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh, can we leave Jamie out?
All right, our newest member.
and Jamie's great. Like her spreadsheets, her organization. Like I'm blown away. But I think it'll be a really great event.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because we're going to have the bounce houses, and then we're going to have from what I understand, we're going to be dressing up some trunks.
Yeah.
And what is involved with the decorating of the trunks?
So, well, to be honest, Angel, don't sell yourself short. It was Angel's idea.
Oh,
like,
that's
he,
a
in
good-
passing,
yeah.
he was like,
Oh, wonderful.
hey, it'd be cool if we did like something with like Halloween trick or treat. So, that's all this spawned from Angel's beautiful brain.
Well, that's the thing. We bounce stuff off each other, and then we come up with a good event because I know we're going to have food, right? What kind of food are we going to have? I'm getting hungry.
I think the plan right now is tacos,
Ooh,
cotton
tacos.
candy,
Yeah.
popcorn.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. That sounds good.
Yeah, and then we have. Sorry.
Go right ahead.
We do have so the trunks that are actually going to be decorated and manned by local community-based organizations.
Right.
So Roy, you gave us a list of some folks. Angel, you gave us a list of some folks, and we reached out and said, "Hey, Chase Chevrolet, we're having an event. We need help with trunks and decorations." And all these great organizations were like, "Yeah, if it's Chase, we're doing it." So. Delta College athletic program.
Oh, good.
Will have for their teams will be out there. We have a few St. Mary's teenagers volunteering.
Oh, nice.
Edison High School, they'll also be volunteering. They're sending
Nice.
some kids out to volunteer as well.
Oh, good.
We have
Animal Protection League.
Animal Protection.
Oh, good. Are they
League.
going to bring some dogs out? I was wondering about that.
Yes,
I hope so.
Yes.
Yes, because they'll probably be able to.
They're going to
find
bring
homes
out
for them.
Yeah, they're going to bring out some pets for adoption that are available for adoption. So all kinds of like kind of crazy fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
So
Something for
food-
everyone.
Yeah, food event, pets.
Yeah, food. We got food. We got
pets,
pets.
mega
We got
slides,
it all.
candy, popcorn,
Yeah,
Face painting,
face painting,
Oh, we're gonna have face painting too.
yeah,
Yes.
bubbles.
Do you think
Everything.
we could get a dunk tank
bubble
there?
land. Oh,
Hey,
Yeah, we'll put you in the dunk tank.
I will not
And I'll
be
the
here for
first
the
one.
event. I'm on
yeah.
on reassignment that night.
You
So,
would schedule
but
a vacation around that.
yeah, well, especially when you're going to do it. So let's put it out to the viewers. If you really want a dunk tank, we can probably get that handle, and Roy Morales will be sitting in for both of us.
I'll go for that. You get a dunk tank, but I'll go in. But the target's going to be this small.
Although, Roy, can we get you down the slide, the 100-foot slide?
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. I'll wear my cape and go down, right? Wear my costume. All the kids need to wear their costumes, right?
yes, costumes and bring bags. There'll be candy, handing out, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. So we're
Safe,
gonna be
fun,
doing
family
some trick or
activity.
treating, but out of the trunks.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think is there a competition for best dressed trunk? Did we come up with something for them?
Yeah, so the kids and families will be voting for the best decorated trunk. And as I mentioned, all of the trunks will be decorated by community-based organizations, like United Cerebral Palsy and
Child Abuse Prevention Council.
Child Abuse Prevention Council.
Yep. There you go.
All the ones we're on the boards of. And basically, the winning trunk will receive a donation of $500. towards our organization.
$500. Did you hear that, nonprofit? So if you're not involved, you need to contact Chase Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Or Port City Marketing if you'd like to decorate a trunk. I think all that's required on their part is the decorations for their vehicle and candy. Is that what it is? Candy and whatever they're going to give away as far as candy goes.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then we're also giving them an opportunity, if they do have like flyers or information about their organizations, they could also hand those out too.
Hand out all your information there.
You get the voices that want to
Yeah, so that's a no-brainer. Voice of San Joaquin, you guys are in. Those are our community partners. They're one of our very best friends.
Yeah, if there are folks who want to, community-based organizations that are out there that want to decorate a trunk and provide some information for kids, send an email to events@Port City Marketing.
Events@PortCityMarketing.com. So if you're listening out there and you want to get involved in this event, and you have a nonprofit, please contact them and get on board with us.
Hang on, just a second. Betty, you've been invited.
I was already
Did you hear that?
listening
Did
as
you hear
I'm
that,
taking
Betty?
notes.
Okay, good.
I got
We
notes
want you
here.
involved, and everybody will be
Thank you.
peaceful there.
$500 prize for the
Okay, I'm gonna take it.
trunk. Okay, there you go.
Thank you for the invite.
Wonderful. And we're really Chase Chevrolet is really excited about this. We've done like Angel said, we've done events, more in the past, but they haven't been as elaborate, as what we're putting together this time. So we're hoping to have a big turnout of kids and parents, and of course we'll have all the vehicles on display, and so it's going to be a wonderful day. Free food, everything's free. There's no charge for anything. So we encourage the public to come out on October 27th. That's Sunday, October 27th. It will be happening from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. and you'll be able to meet our guests there as well. Hey, let me ask you this. Why would you say it's important to work with a local marketing company? Because there's a lot of big businesses in this town,
Yeah.
What's the big reason that we should be using some of our advertising budget with the local marketing companies as well?
Well, the Valley is just a really different market, so you have to know the market,
Right.
And having a marketing company that knows the people who you want to be advertising with, has relationships with them. Us, for example, we don't specialize in a specific industry. We do a wide variety of industries, and we really like taking things from, say, that worked really well in automotive, and let's apply that to electrical or something along those lines. So kind of taking people outside the box and saying, well, this really worked here in the Valley for this company. Let's do this over here. So I think it's really just about people and the customization.
Right.
The Valley is just so community oriented. I mean, do you have more to add to that? It's just a different market. So using us who live here, we engage here, we're the people who are using the services. We know all of these businesses. We knew who Chase Chevrolet was before we, started working with you guys. So, walking in the door, we're already your customer. We already know what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Kristen said, some organization or some agencies, focus on an industry. I think as we've evolved, we focus on Northern California and the Central Valley.
Right.
And I think a large part of that is we're your audience, right?
Right.
And if we're not, then a good friend of us is. And with us, part of the process is research, and market research. And many times when we're doing market research and focus groups, we may get a much more honest opinion from a friend. Because Kristen, she drives a Chevy. She got
Gee, Chevy girl.
yeah, she wants another one
Just
from me.
pass yourself forward and never mind.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all
I'm
good.
happy.
Yeah, but I think for us, we do have. I believe we do have a pulse on, or a finger on the pulse of our community.
Go right
So-
ahead.
Can I?
Go ahead, Rick.
I know you're running the show tonight, and I feel good sitting
Well,
back.
you're
Just
right. Yeah,
I'm
I gave you
listening.
the night off.
I should have not showed up. Anyhow, now I have a good question for both of you and Angel, because I've tried to rope him into this, and he's working on it. Marketing my fellow friend here and I, because we do things that are a little bit unique. This radio show is unique. I started the St. Mary's hockey program a year and a half ago, and I thought I got introduced to this station by Dr. Julie Brown, who does a lot of community service for our community. And I did a show, I think we both did one day, and she says, you ought to do a show.
Yeah.
Well, I've never done a show in my life. So anyhow, make a long story short, a year and a half later, I'm still doing shows, and they haven't thrown me out, so I guess that's all good. But Roy and I have had this concept, and we finally brought it in nine sessions. We're in 9th session, is that correct?
Yeah, 9.
Ago. So what we like to do is maybe do like a shirt like Roy has, or Angel actually, and do a logo. I was thinking caricatures of him and I. We'd market ourselves. We could sell them at Chase Chevrolet, not to make any money, but just to get our brand out. Because believe it or not, the last show that he and I did with just you and I.
It's me, you, and Betty.
Betty Ramirez, who is here with us tonight. We had over 1,000, almost 1,100 views.
Nice.
And I thought, most of the shows that I do are between 300 and 600 or 700, which I think is pretty good. Especially you're talking about hockey, and it's a popular thing, getting more popular. But talking about our youth and getting them out of the streets and putting them in the program and yada yada yada. But so I'm going to challenge you guys to come up with a little bit of a logo for us, something that we might be able to use, and then get your name involved. And I'll let Roy have it back.
We can have Angel work with you on that, because we had talked with you about that. But getting a caricature done, so we can have a little logo there. Chase Car Guys. So it advertises.
Powered by Chase.
Powered by Chase. Yeah. Hey, you've got so many creative people in your office.
We can come up with the words.
You'll come up with the words. The words is no problem.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that. Rick and I are actually we're involved with organizations like the Stockton Host Lions Club, many organizations, but him more on the hockey end. He spends a lot of time on the hockey end, and we have events that we actually do the marketing for. You know what I mean? We get some help from Chase Chevrolet, but we've never really been able to work with someone like a Port City Marketing. We have some great events. Rick, why don't you tell them about your ball drop and your two events. You've got 2 St. Mary's around town.
We have to fundraise for our hockey club. Let me give you a little bit of background. People have heard this 1,000 times on the other show, but so 3 years ago, we got together with Jim Bruce, and now the president of St. Mary's. We kicked around hockey ideas. People that know me know I was involved with the Stockton Colts for years. So he came to me. We discussed some things, and he said, "Man, it's a program I'd really like to get involved with." And his thing was to get more students into the school, right? That was his slant on it.
Yeah.
And so I shared this idea with him, and we got a coach, Derek Eisler, who's just a phenomenal human being.
Yeah.
Zach Lytle is also a coach there. But anyhow, so we came up with this program. Well, to fund this program, the students pay their tuition, plus they have to pay almost the same amount but dues to play hockey, because they travel around the United States and so on and so forth. They don't have a facility. Obviously, we use Oak Park here in the city, and you have to rent the ice. So there's a cost involved there, and there's a lot of costs. So every year, we try to raise, and the school kind of requires it softly, but over $10,000 a year for our program. And anyhow, this event is nothing that I thought about by myself. It was done to the Stockton Host Lions Club way back. I started in 1990 with them. And it's just something that they did every year, and then they kind of let it go away, and they went into other fields to get donations. However, here's what it is. Easy concept. We call the ball drop. We sell 125 tickets at $100 a ticket. It includes dinner. It's called reverse raffle. I'm not sure you guys did that. So here's what happens. We sell the tickets. People come in, they sit at the table. Each ticket is numbered 1 through 125. Imagine that. Great concept, right? So what happens is they have what I call like a bingo ball machine, and the numbers are 1 through 125. Well, how it works is we pull the first ball out. They get $100. Okay. The next 9 balls get nothing.
Okay.
The 10th ball gets another $100, and we go all the way through the numbers until we get down to the final 4.
Okay.
We hold 1 ball out.
Yeah.
Now we auction that ball off. Now you got a 1 in 5 chance to win. It's a $5,000 prize that you win as first place. And anyhow, we auction that off, and then we asked them at that point, do you want to split it?
Yeah.
If they don't want to split, all it takes is one person not to say split, and then we keep rolling until last year was our first year of doing it, and we had 2 people, and one of the people was funny. The lady didn't. She goes, she wanted to split like at 4, and one guy said no. So it was her and the guy that said no, and so I whispered in her ear, well, go for it, man. It's your lucky night. And she goes, I can't. I got 2 kids playing hockey. I can't have to. So anyhow, they split it. So for funs and giggles, we pulled the last ball.
Yeah.
She'd have won all 5,000. But it's a fun night. It's a good thing. The kids, actually, the hockey players serve you the food. It's a good way to get to know them. We did it last year right there at St. Mary's. So that's one of the fundraisers. We got a little bit short, but we did $8,000 on our first one. I thought was good. We only sold, I forget, 70 tickets I'm going to throw out there. And what happens is then we try to sell the other ones to the people that are there for like $50 or $75 just to do it. So that's our one event. And then this year we're going to have a golf tournament on, I want to say March 8th. Does that sound right, Roy?
That sounds pretty cool.
Okay, March 8th at Oakmore. Same type of thing, but there won't be a ball drop. People go out and play golf. Have a nice dinner, give away prizes, and so those are the 2 events that we'll need help marketing. It was just Roy, myself, and Adam, the athletic director, doing all the work last year. So it'd be nice to get. We have more parents this year. We went from a 14-man team to a 21-man team this year. So more people. It should get easy. I say easier, but you still got to do some work to do it. But
And you know what? It's really a win-win for Chase Chevrolet. These type of events, especially because he's an employee of Chase Chevrolet. Chase Chevrolet, contributes to the St. Mary's Rams hockey as they do, and St. Mary's, so to all the high schools. But it really puts us in a good position because we're normally the title sponsor of these events. So the people that attend these events, of course, in most cases, these are hockey people. Hockey families, we get maximum exposure, so it's a good, it's a good impression for us.
Yeah.
We had one prize. We auctioned off one prize. It was a trip for 4 on the corporate jet to Monterey, and you may know this young man. The young man, he was younger than me, so he's a young man. Owns Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mike Robinson and his wife Beverly.
Yes.
Good, great people.
Yep.
They've helped our organization out, and he paid X amount of dollars. I won't go there because I won't throw under the bus, Mike, if you're listening.
Yes.
But he won it, and he couldn't have had a better time. So
Yes.
we're going to do something similar this year. But I had to get that in there, and we want to thank Mike and Beverly for their participation.
Mike's, there you go.
I've got one other, it's all about marketing, right? Let's see if I can make this work here. Can you hold it? Can you hold that? Can you hold that? Let him hold it.
Guy puts his mouth on
Just
it.
relax. Oh, sorry. I just washed the hand. Hey, another opportunity. This was huge. This was a huge undertaking on my part. I got involved. I've been a Lion for about 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But I got involved on a district committee. And it's a district project called the Lions All-Star Football Game. We've been playing this game since 1974. And we've always played the game here in Stockton since 1974 at University of Pacific. It was something that the community looked forward to each and every year. It is a game. It is a game made up of 8 counties. There's 8 counties involved in our district. Like over 70 high schools are able to participate. By nominating senior high school football players, their best players on their team, to make this the Lions All-Star Football Game.
Yeah.
The very first game in 1974, it was played at UOP, and we drew 8,000 fans. 8,000 fans to a high school All-Star football game. The very second game, we drew 10,000 fans at UOP. And, of course, UOP was a very, very big stadium.
Yeah.
Now, they closed UOP. We've continued to have the game here in Stockton, but they closed. The very last game was played in 2011. at UOP, and then the facility was not available to us. So the Lions at that time, I wasn't on the committee at that time when they made that decision in 2011, but they decided to take the game down south because the South counties, we go all the way down to as far as like Los Banos. In the teams that play in here. So they wanted to bring the game down south. So we took the game down south. We played 2 years at Modesto JC, 1 year at Merced JC, and then the following 4 years we played at Tracy High School. Tracy High School, the Tracy Lions clubs really saved the game. Because they have some real strong clubs there that really supported the game. So they kept the game alive. So this last year, after the previous year's results, we made a determination, which I was really serious about getting done, and I went all in on this because I knew that Stockton is the right place to have this game. So what we did was we marketed. So what did I do? Not being a marketer, right? You know when you go to Barnes and Nobles and you get those books and they're called what's it called? Marketing for Dummies.
Marketing for Dummies, yeah.
Marketing for Dummies. Mm-hmm. Hey, I knew what I needed. I had a great product, outstanding product. Okay, but what I didn't have was I didn't have the marketing right, and I didn't have the sponsorships. So those were the two areas that I concentrated on being on the committee, is the marketing and sponsorships.
Yeah.
And we got Chase Chevrolet has always supported the game because John Ferraiolo played in the game in 1976.
Oh, nice.
And it was probably one of the highlights of his life because he was a football player, a good football player, you know.
Yeah.
And all of the friendships that he made on, at Delta College and, at playing in the old Lions All-Star football game, they're all, his best friends still today. And so the game was very meaningful to him. So anyway, we had the game. We brought the game back home. We gave it a, theme.
Yeah.
Homecoming 2019. Now we got a theme. We don't just have an all-star football game. We got a theme for the game.
Amen, brother. Come on.
So and when you know your community, when you know your audience, and you know your community, it becomes easier when they can reconnect the game. I used to go to that game. It's been away for 7 years.
Yeah.
And so we were able to draw the fan base back. Okay, number one. And the biggest success was we were able to get the business community to buy into this game. That was the key, because the key was we had to get on firm financial footing. And due to last year's game, we got back on firm financial footing. We had the game at A.G. Spano Stadium at Lincoln High School, the best venue that you can have a football game at.
Yeah.
And so everything really worked, And we did this with no marketing budget.
Yeah.
So imagine what we can do with some help.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that Chase Chevrolet was able to help us out with is their advertising. We were able to get into Sound Key Magazine. Our game was able to get sponsored by Chase Chevrolet was the title sponsor. We were the title sponsor for the game. I think that it was one of the most successful promotions that we've ever had because of the audience that we were reaching. We were reaching Lions clubs within 55 clubs within the district.
Yeah.
We were reaching the football community. We were reaching our community in general. We were reaching all of our school districts. So there was a big audience there. So I'm looking forward to, this is the new theme for 2020, Bigger Vision 2020. So what we see is a bigger vision for the game this year, and we want to maximize. I want these kids. These are fine student athletes that play this game. I got to meet all of the Northern players, and they're amazing. They played every play all the way down to the very end in this game, because it came down to the last minute of the game when the South was going to kick a field goal to win the game, and the North was able to block the kick. They had to play every single game. These athletes are amazing. This is the youth. This is the good side of our youth, being able to be an all-star, for the rest of their lives, because it's they're going to represent that team in the Lions All-Star history books. So anyway, we're looking forward to Bigger Vision 2020, and we would love for you guys to be involved with that. I think that's going to be a great opportunity for both of us.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one I wanted to let you guys know about.
And I got to tell you, I give Roy a bad time. If people tune in, I do it quite often. Enjoy it. However, I do give my kudos to you because this guy was relentless. I almost threw up over this game listening to it so much. But I'm telling you what, he really did an outstanding job. He allowed myself and a buddy of ours that worked there, Chip Kniss, to be involved. It was pretty successful to be out there on the field that day. I had nothing to do with the people in the stands or anything, but just to take in the end result of what he did. And you might think about hiring him. I mean,
He sounds like he did a pretty good job.
yeah, he did an outstanding job. I almost could tell you word for word. I've heard that same speech many times. It's like the Gettysburg Address with Roy. But anyhow, I appreciate everything you did on that, Roy. Honestly.
Thank you very much, Uncle Rick. Hey, listen, I wanted to hit on a couple of community events, upcoming community events, and one of them was a family that we had discussed earlier. On Thursday evening, and that's where I'll be Thursday evening. I'm not going to be at the Stockton. I won't be able to make it there. But I'm going to be at an evening of goodwill at the Stockton Golf and Country Club.
Yes.
They will be honoring members of our community that are being honored for giving back to our community. And we talked about one of those families today.
Yes.
And that's the Genie family. Yeah. And of course, that's Electric. Collins Electric. Collins
Yes.
Electric. Anyway, pretty cool story about Gene Collins. I believe he's up in his 70s, maybe something like that. And or he's somewhere in that
Yes.
range. Anyway, I sent him a letter regarding our Lions All-Star football game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me a check. He sent me a check immediately. Something that happened. He caught something in this game that and I had never met him. I just sent him the information,
Yeah.
and it was pretty cool. And so when I saw that we were honoring him, I thought that was absolutely awesome.
They're a
We're
great
going to
family.
be right on
So
time.
we're-
Okay, don't forget Thursday also. That's tomorrow. Stockton Cruise Night. 5. I think it's 5 to 7, 6 to 7, 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
6 to 8, Stockton Cruise Night. So come on down to the Miracle Mile. We're going to have some beautiful cars on display. They'll actually be cruising the mile, and this is an absolutely awesome event. I mean, if you have not seen the Stockton Cruise Night, you got to come out and see it, because you're gonna really be thoroughly impressed. Saturday night, and this is a nonprofit. This is a great nonprofit in our community. CCVBI, Community Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, will be holding their annual Dining in the Dark event. Blindfolds, are optional, but you can actually. I've done this and worn the blindfold, and you get a real good idea of what it would feel like to.
You wear a bib. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah, I got everything. I get everything all over me anyway. So anyway, that's going to be held at presentation from 5:30 to 9 p.m. The executive director of the center is Lion, Michelle Galvin, and her staff. They do an absolutely amazing job, and I just wanted to give her a shout out. So anyway, are we close?
We're close, man. About 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, I got a couple others. Sunday, October 20th. Sunday, October 20th, the San Joaquin County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will hold its 17th annual Student Aid Financial Workshop and College Awareness event. And this is at A.G. Spanos Center. Registration begins at 8 p.m. This is really an awesome event. 6th graders through high school seniors will attend. Each grade level will have its own unique program designed to get the youth prepared for college. The high school seniors will be applying for scholarships, their FAFSA scholarships. Don't forget on Thursday, October 24th, tune into the Chilling with Rick St. Mary's Rams ice hockey show. And we will be airing. It'll be airing on the Voice of San Joaquin, this station, the Voice of San Joaquin. Rick's going to be on vacation, so I will be your host. I don't know anything about hockey, but we're going to have a good time. And then one other, and this, if I could nominate this guy for Stocktonian of the Year, I'd nominate. I mean, Thank you, Roy. But anyway, Yaki Lopez. I love Yaki Lopez. Yaki Lopez is having his annual Fight for a Cause night at the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds. It's from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come out and watch our finest local youth boxers compete. It's a great day of boxing. It's a wonderful event, and these kids just go at it. And he keeps these kids grounded, and that's the reason why he gives back. Because him being a professional boxer, he's got all the skills, but it's more important to him to keep the kids from keep the kids off the streets and doing something positive. And he's a tremendous individual. So we got a lot of stuff happening in our community. We will be in the middle of all of it. And I want to thank my guests.
Thank you for having us.
Trunk or treat. Here's our trunk or treat. Make sure you're there. Get it on there. I want to thank our guests for being here with us. We've got Angel Villalobos, Marketing and Human Resources over at Chase Chevrolet. And Port City Marketing, the principal partners at Port City Marketing, Kristen Dyke and Dan Natividad. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Natividad.
Close enough. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to a long-lasting relationship with you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, we're very humbled that you guys came on to this mediocre show that we do. All three listeners were listening. And again, we want to thank you guys. Our next show will be on the 30th. It is October 30th. I have to figure out what year I'm in. That'll be our next show. And like Roy said, next Thursday night he'll be sitting in for me on the Voice of San Joaquin doing the St. Mary's Rams hockey. Come out to the event at Chase Chevrolet, Trunk or Treat, 27th. Roy is going to dress up as something we won't tell you, and if you can guess...
I'm going to be a pirate. Arr!
Okay, so if you find a pirate that looks like him, he'll give you $25. You show up and you tell him he has to give you $20. That's right. No problem.
There it is, Trunk or Treat. We'll see you there.
All right, folks, have a good evening. We'll see you on the 30th. Bye now.
Thank you.
Now...